This program is suitable for most people. However, it should not replace a supervised exercise program. Please consult your local doctor before commencing an exercise program, especially if you have one or more of the following: have had joint surgery, any medical condition affecting your heart, lungs or blood pressure, joint inflammation, you have not been doing regular exercise. Stop exercising immediately if you experience one or more of the following: chest pain, shortness of breath, nausea, dizziness, numbness or tingling in the arms or legs, severe pain or discomfort in your joints. The producers and distributors disclaim any liability or loss, personal or otherwise, resulting from procedures in this program.
Move It or Lose It is an exercise program for seniors designed to maintain an active and healthy lifestyle. Let's join instructor Sally for a Pilates workout at Aveo Rose Grange in Tarneet. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Good morning and welcome to today's session of Move It or Lose It. My name is Sally and I'm a physiotherapist specialising in Pilates. This is my colleague Cherie, who's here to help me demonstrate the exercises today. Today we're going to focus on strengthening our hips and pelvis. This is quite important to help prevent falls as we get older. So we'll start by lying onto our left side. So you can either sit up tall if this is more comfortable, or rest your head down into your hand. If this is still not very comfortable, you can always use a pillow to lie your head down. So let's start with our knees bent and our feet together, feet and heels together. You can rest your right hand in front of you. From this position, you want to make sure that your back is nice and straight and your tummy muscles are just gently switched on. And now we're going to lift our right knee up off your left knee, keeping your heels together. So opening your legs as though you're opening like a clamshell would. So lifting up and lowering down. So you should feel this working in the muscles on the side of your hip here. Slowly up and back down. And keep going, lifting that right leg off the left knee. Up and back down. And right leg up. And slowly lowering down, keeping your back nice and straight. And making sure that you don't turn backwards. Okay, and rest. Now this time we're going to lift your heel up as well. So your knee is lifting and your heel is coming up to the side, slowly down. So lifting up and slowly lowering that leg down. Again, you're going to feel the muscles on the side of your hip working. Don't forget to keep your tummy muscles just slightly switched on to ensure that you're not moving your back. Let's do 3 more on this side. Up, lowering down. And last one. Good. Okay, now straightening out that right leg out to the side. Pointing your toes so your leg is nice and straight and lifting your right leg up towards the ceiling. Now remember, you want to keep your back nice and straight so that you're not rotating backwards or forwards. We're just straight up into the air and lowering down. Just keep that right leg off the floor so your toe is never coming quite all the way down. So you're working those hip muscles the whole time. Lifting up and slowly down. Let's keep going on this leg. Up and slowly down. Let's do 2 more. And back down. And last one. Good, and have a rest. Okay, We're going to straighten that leg back out again, this time coming forward with your legs. So pulling your right leg forward towards you and then slowly back to that midline. So coming forward all the way and slowly back. This time you should start to feel muscles working at the front of your hip to help bring you forward, as well as the muscles on the side. They'll be starting to work quite hard now. Coming forward and back. And forward and back. Make sure that you're not going past that midline as you come back. You're just going back to neutral. And let's do 2 more. Forward and back. And last one. And back, and have a rest. And just bend your knee gently into your chest to stretch out your hip there. And then back out to the side. This time, instead of going forwards, we are now going backwards with your leg. So straight out to the side, this time reaching behind you. Now this movement won't be very big, it's just a small movement. You want to make sure that you're not arching your back here. And if you do feel any strain in your back, just make sure you don't go too far. Or have a rest if you need to. So extending back behind, using those muscles at the back of your hip now. And remember, don't forget to breathe as you're doing all of the exercises. Keep going backwards and to the middle, and last one, back again and in, and have a rest. So by now you should be starting to feel those side muscles working quite hard. Okay, so we'll just give them a little rest there. And we'll start by bending in towards your chest and kicking right the way out, pointing your toe. So knee coming all the way in and kicking out. In and out. Now you want to make sure that your leg stays nice and level, so it's not too high and it's not too low. So bending into your chest and kicking out. 2 more. Knee coming in and back. Well done. And have a rest. This time we're going to do little circles with your leg. So straight out to the side, making small circles going backwards. They just need to be small little circles here, not too big. Again, you should be feeling the muscles right in the side of your hip. And let's change direction of the circles now, back the other way. And have a rest. Bring that knee up into your chest to stretch out the back of your hip. And the last exercise on this side, leg out straight again, and just little pulses up and down. And bring that leg back in to have a rest. Okay, we're now going to take a break and we'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back. Let's now go onto our right side so we can do the same exercises for our left hip. So lying down, again you can support your head with your hand or lie down onto a pillow if you need to. So making sure your back is nice and straight, and your tummy muscles are switched on, let's have your knees slightly bent with your heels together. Starting off by lifting that left knee up, keeping your heels together and slowly lowering down. So lifting up, working the muscles at the side of the hip here. Just make sure you're not lifting too high so that you're not rotating backwards. So lifting that left knee up and slowly lowering down. So feeling those muscles right in the side of the hip working. Let's do 3 more, lifting up, lowering down, up and down, and last one. Good. Now this time you're going to lift your heel as well. So lifting up with the knee and the heel, so your whole leg is lifting up. Keeping your back nice and straight and making sure you're not rotating backwards. Try to keep your knee and your heel in the same alignment. Up, slowly down. Let's do 2 more. Good, and have a rest. Okay, now straightening that left leg out to the side. You're going to lift your left foot up to the ceiling and coming down. Keep your left leg nice and straight and making sure again that your back is nice and still and you're using your tummy muscles. So slowly lifting up, lowering down, and just make sure that left foot never quite touches the ground, so you're always working those hip muscles. And remember, if you're getting tired, you can always have a break whenever you need to. Let's do 3 more on this leg. And last one. And bring that leg down for a rest. This time we're going to have your leg nice and straight again. And this time bring your toe forward, so you're bending your hip towards your chest, keeping the leg straight. So we're starting to bring in these muscles at the front of the hip. So bringing it forward and back to that neutral position, so not going back past that midline. So coming forward here, slowly back. So forward and back. 2 more forward and back. And last one. Good. Okay, have a little rest again. Bring that knee into your chest just to stretch out through the back of your hip. And then go back into that straight leg position. Now we're going to extend your leg behind you. So remember, keeping your back nice and still. You don't want to arch through your spine as you reach your leg behind your body. Just coming back to that midline and kicking back. So it's not a very big movement, it's just a small movement backwards. So back and forward. This time you're working the muscles right at the back of the hip here. And 2 more. And have a rest. Okay, now we're going to combine those 2 movements. So bending your knee into your chest and then kicking back. Knee coming forward and out. Make sure your back stays nice and still so you're not rotating your hip backwards. In and out. So you should be starting to feel the muscles at the back of your hip working now. Let's do 2 more. Knee into your chest and kick back. In and out. And have a rest. Bring your knee up into your chest now just to stretch out the back of the hip. And now we're going to go into circles. So straighten your leg out to the side and making little circles with your left leg. So point your toe because this helps to make those circles a bit smoother. So again, back to feeling the muscles at the side of your hip. Okay, let's change directions now. So back the other way. So again, making sure that you're keeping your back nice and straight so you're not rotating backwards at all. Good, and have a rest. Bend that knee in and let those muscles relax. So last one on this side now. Straighten that leg out and little pulses up and down. So just a small movement. Keeping the leg nice and straight. Pulsing. You should be feeling a bit of a burn in these muscles at the side of your hip now. And well done. Stretch it out, bring that knee into your chest. Stretch out the back of the hip and then relax. All right, we're going to take another short break and we'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back. We're now going to do some exercises lying on our back. So slowly make your way down with your arms relaxed by your side and your feet flat on the ground with your knees slightly bent. We're now going to go into some pelvic tilts. So start by rolling your hips backwards to flatten your back against the ground and then tilt forwards so that there's an arch in your lower back. Tilting backwards and forwards. This just helps to stretch out the lower back and the front of your hips. So forwards and back. Arching away and then flattening your back. 2 more, forwards and back, forwards and back. Okay, from this position now, you're going to push through your heels to lift your bottom up into what we call bridging. So curling back, lift your bottom up and then curl back down. So tilt backwards, push through your heels, lift your bottom up and curling down. Tilt back, lift up. So working the back of your hips here and down. Tilt backwards, lift up and slowly lowering down. Let's do 4 more of these, lifting up and lowering down, 2 and down, up and down, and last one, so tilt back and lift up and slowly down. Okay, this time take your knees out wide so your soles of your feet are together and your knees are almost coming down towards the floor. From here, I want you to tighten up through your tummy muscles and lift your feet up towards you. So coming up to about 90 degrees and then slowly lowering down, but don't let your feet come back to touch the ground. Bring them back up towards you and lower down, making sure that you're not lifting your back off the ground. Up and slowly down. So you should feel your tummy muscles working with this exercise. Slowly down and back up. 2 more and back, lowering down and back. This time keep your feet in this position, so your knees out wide, soles of the feet together. Bring your hands out behind over your head. From this position now, bring your hands up to try and touch your heels. You may not make it the whole way, and then come back down. So your lower back the whole time is going to be against the ground. It's just your upper back that's lifting up. If you're finding this one too hard, you can have your hands just coming forward over to your shins and back. It's just a very small lift of your head just to work the top of your tummy muscles here. And you're still working your hips as well, holding them out into this position. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Good. And bring your feet back down to the ground for a rest. Okay, now bending your left knee in towards your chest, I want you to straighten out your right leg. And then we're going to change positions. So your left leg is going to straighten and your right leg's coming into your chest. And keep alternating. If you want to make this one harder, you can lift your head up off the ground at the same time. This will just work your stomach muscles a little bit more intensely. Otherwise, if you have any neck problems, keep your head down onto the ground, or if you're finding it too much of a challenge. Okay, so right knee in, left knee, keep going. Let's do 2 more on each side. And well done. And feet back down to the ground. All right, we're now going to go into a single leg bridge. Straighten your right leg out in front of you. This time lifting up, pushing through your left heel. It's a bit more of a challenge than the double leg bridge. Keep that right leg straight out in front of you as you're pushing up through your heel on the left. Lifting up, working this left hip, and slowly down, up and down. Let's do 2 more on the left. And last one. Good, and switching over to the right leg. So left leg straight out in front, pushing through the right heel, lifting up and down, lifting up, keeping that leg nice and straight. So working the right hip now. 2 to go. And well done, have a rest. Great work. We're now going to go into some stretching to loosen up through our hips that we've worked quite hard today. So start by placing your right heel onto your left knee and pushing on your right knee to open up the front of that right hip. Now, if that's enough of a stretch, you can stay there. Otherwise, you can grab hold of your right heel and pull in towards your chest. This will stretch a bit more at the back of your right hip. Good, and place that right foot on the floor. Let's do the left side. So left heel on your right knee, pushing down on your left knee to stretch out the front of your hip. And then from there, if you did before, grabbing hold of that left heel and pulling in towards your chest. Again, you'll feel this at the back of that left hip. Good, and bringing that leg down. Now take your arms out to the side and let's rotate through your lower back. So taking your legs out to the right and then back to the midline and stretching over to the left. This will help to loosen up your lower back, back to the midline and across to the right hand side. Try to keep your shoulders down onto the ground. The left, back to the middle, and over. Let's do 2 more to each side, over to your left, and back, right, back, and to the left, and back. Good. Okay, and bring your hands back down to your side. Let's lastly bring in your right knee towards your chest, and then straightening the left leg out in front. This will open up that hip on the left-hand side. Good, and swapping sides. So left knee into your chest and straightening that right leg out. Again, stretching through the front of the right hip. And well done, back into the middle. Well done, everyone. That concludes today's session of Move It or Lose It. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.